Hi friends, welcome to the All-Canadian Reptile Girl. I'm Annaliese, at least that's what it says on my library card. And I've got a question for you. Have you ever looked at a reptile and thought, how did this appearance become standard for your species? Who signed off on this decision? Today, I'm going to share with you 5 of my favorite distinctly different and radically designed reptiles that look like they come straight out of the pages of a fantasy or science fiction novel. Or, I don't know, maybe an alternate dimension. Who knows? Okay, to be clear, even though I'll be poking fun here, I love all of these reptiles, and they've made my list because I think that they are all amazing with remarkable adaptations that have evolved in some of the coolest, neatest, weirdest looking creatures out there. Fingers, my Darwin carpet python here has nothing to do with any of these reptiles. He just needs socialization and he's really fun to film with. So he's here. Let's start off with number 5, Jackson's chameleon. The chameleon's default setting is already a little outside of the normal lizard-like appearance, but the Jackson's chameleon, also known as the Kiuyu 3-horned chameleon, takes the cake. I want cake.
Noted. I'll see what I can do.
Native to Kenya and Tanzania, these delicate, freaky little lizards are now an invasive species in Hawaii, Florida, and California. Where do I start with these guys? First, there are the pinchy Zoidberg claw-looking zygodactylus feet, fun to say, with 2 toes pointing inward and 3 pointing outward, allowing them to grip branches with confidence. Next is the delightfully designed prehensile tail, which is extremely helpful and not falling out of trees. When not in use, the Jackson's chameleon doesn't just leave his tail lying around like a dirty sock, dragging it in the dirt. No. He rolls it up, transforming it into a geometrically beautiful design. How tidy. And let's not forget that I constantly look like I went a little overboard at the pub wobbles that they've got going on as they pinchy walk about, which is actually them deliberately swaying with the breeze, an important part of their camouflage strategy. But I'm willing to bet that those amazing features are not the first thing you noticed when looking at the Jackson's chameleon, are they? No. The main what is going on here point is, I think, a tie between their eyes and the 3 actual points males have sticking out of their faces. It's like they saw a unicorn one day in the woods and thought, I can do better.
I get that feeling from them.
Yeah. When fighting, they will try to ram their horns into the territory intruding chameleon and will attempt to knock him off the bridge. Not the bridge, the branch. The ladies, of course, know that they don't need all that extra to be seen. They play it low-key. Some ladies will develop horns. They tend to be smaller or are not fully formed, but what the ladies do have equal to the fellas are the eyes. First, the eyelids are sealed around the pupil in a permanent state of being semi-closed. It's not working. They need to do this because the eyes themselves actually protrude out of the head, but it does make it easier for them to see everything all around, all at once, from all directions, and independently from each other. That does mean that they need a little extra protection around their pseudo-dangling eyeball, which is where the semi-closed eyelids come in. Pretty amazing, don't you agree? No? Not really? Not weird enough for you? Okay, I gotcha. Check out this reptile. This is the flying lizard, also known as the flying dragon or gliding lizard. There are over 40 different types and species of flying lizards, which can be found in tropical rainforests in southern India and Southeast Asia. At first glance, these lizards might seem pretty normal, with a lizard-like head, slender body, skinny little legs that help make them look like twigs or bits of wood when they're just hanging out on the trunk of a tree, and their colorings make for a great camouflage. They grow to about a length of 8 inches, including a tail, so they're pretty small. Here's what I find interesting about these reptiles. They're hanging out on a tree, loving life, but then they decide that the tree way over there has better shade or sunlight or faces north or is closer to the Tim Hortons. I don't know. But instead of running down their tree, across the ground, and up the new tree, like a normal lizard, these adrenaline junkies will just launch themselves off into the air in display of the oddest trust exercise with science. And this is where the weird transformation happens. These lizards have evolved their own personal and non-detachable parachutes, and when they launch themselves off the tree that they're on, they straighten out their wee bodies, imagine winter ski jumping at the Olympics, kind of like that, before releasing their parachutes in the form of membranous wings called patagia. The bones supporting the skin wings are rib bones, and the muscles used to unfold and fold their wings are the very same ones that other lizards use to breathe. How cool is that? For over 200 years after being first described, it was thought that these patagia were for only display purposes, and it wasn't until the late 1950s that it was confirmed these patagia were in fact used for gliding. What's really fascinating is that when they jump, they extend their forearms and physically grab the front of their wings with their wee little hands and use that to help control their flight. Some species also have a dewlap of skin under their chin as a stabilizer. Now, they don't technically fly, they glide, which is just falling with style. But the shape of their wings does generate lift. Generally, the flights only go to around 30 feet, but there have been recorded instances of them gliding as far as 200 feet. How crazy is that? What? Not crazy enough for you? You need something a bit more unusual. This flying reptile that cannot seem to decide if it is a moth, a butterfly, a bird, a lizard, or an occult leader about to sacrifice an ancient deity isn't weird enough for you. Okay, how about a reptile so fierce and surreal looking that it sparks notions of noble quests filled with grand adventure and magic? If it was a little bit bigger, maybe. The number 3 spot on my list is the Earless Monitor. If there is another reptile that looks like an actual living dragon, then please note it in the comments below, because in my opinion, this incredible lizard is it. It is so cool. Look at it. That face is adorable, and it looks like it could both be the best snuggle buddy and also unleash a world of hurt upon you. It has 6 rows of strong keeled scales going down its back. It has gorgeous bright blue eyes that I think really stand out from its brownish, sometimes yellowish or orangish body. Aren't they pretty? All right, I think that's probably enough gushing over it. Let's get to the learning. Borneo's Earless Monitor is not actually a monitor, but is thought by many to be a living descendant of the mosasaur. Though, instead of reaching lengths of around 40 feet, this living dragon can reach lengths of around 40 centimeters, 16 inches. But just like its ancestors, the Earless Monitor is completely comfortable living and eating in water, usually found along riverbanks, buried in the dirt, or under just logs in the water. Its diet is strictly bugs and worms, but don't let that creepy crawly diet fool you. That comment I made earlier about unleashing a world of hurt on you was not a joke. While they aren't known for a nasty disposition, they do possess a strong bite with razor sharp teeth and an anticoagulant saliva. So, a bite from these guys is not a whole lot of fun. Like the name suggests, the Earless Monitor does not possess the external visible signs of having an ear, like an ear, but just like the tuatara and snakes that have no visible ear, rest assured they can in fact hear. Their true numbers in the wild are unknown. They are very difficult to find given how they spend their time either burrowed in the dirt or hiding under natural debris in the water. But what we do know is that these amazing dragon-like reptiles are at risk in the wild and are classified as endangered. Like many other animals in this region, the palm oil industry is having a devastating effect on their habitat. It can be tough sometimes, but it really is best to try and buy products with responsibly sourced palm oil just to help reduce those impacts. The good news is that the species can be saved from extinction with the help of breeders in the reptile community. I would love to have these amazing dinosaur-looking dragon things join my scaly family one day. Definitely going on my list. What do you guys think? Aren't these the coolest dragon-like reptiles you've ever seen? Wait, you mean this isn't the weirdest or coolest looking reptile for you? Whew. You guys are tough. Okay, well, this next one for sure has to be on your list of weird and cool looking reptiles. Basically, an underwater river tank. Huh? That pique your interests? This amazing creature looks like it lives among dinosaurs, and yet it's found today living in the Amazon. Check out the Mata turtle. Now, to be fair, there are some other odd-looking turtles out there, like the pig-nosed turtle, or the alligator snapping turtle. Maybe not that one. He's just really, really cool. Or the Mary River turtle. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about that one, but not even this punk rock wannabe turtle can beat out the Matamata for the number 2 spot on my list. These guys are incredible aquatic turtles and are perfectly adapted to living in the murky waters they inhabit. Their carapace, or shell, resembles bark or wood, making them look like a piece of debris on the bottom of the river. Their flat, wide neck is covered with all sorts of little bumps and protrusions and, well, warts and skin tags, which help camouflage them from their predators and their prey. But they're also sophisticated sensory receptors that help to sense and detect movement in the murky or brackish water so they can hone in on where their fishy prey is. Once they detect that their prey is in their strike zone, they throw open that wide, flat mouth and an interdimensional vortex opens up and the prey is instantly sucked in, never to be heard from or seen again. Actually, the Matamata turtle is using a method called suction feeding, where when they open up the mouth, it creates a low pressure vacuum which instantly sucks in the prey and fills the turtle's belly. Anyone who has gone bass fishing with a topwater lure has probably seen this phenomenon firsthand. What's really neat about these turtles is that up until very recently, like 2020, we believed that all the Matamata turtles living across South America were the same species of turtle. As it turns out, there are actually 2 distinct species of Matamata turtles that shared a common ancestor about 13 million years ago, about the same time that the Amazon Orinoco basin began separating into the 2 river basins known today. The not so neat thing about this discovery is that we thought their wild numbers were okay, but now that we know there are 2 different species, it means that each is doing only half as well as we thought, and steps need to be taken to protect them and the areas that they call home. I think these prehistoric dinosaur river tanks are pretty incredible and weird and totally cool. Wouldn't you agree? No? You still need something that looks even cooler, weirder than the Matamata turtle. Okay, here it is, my last chance. Hail Mary attempt to impress you guys. My number 1 choice for the weirdest and coolest looking reptile is coming at you straight out of a nightmare. The Satanic leaf-tailed gecko. In my opinion, these guys take the cake. I want cake.
Yes, you said that.
For being one of the weirdest looking reptiles out there. Let me be clear, I think that they are awesome. But I also think that they look like someone found a pile of decaying brown leaves and gave it some freaky eyeballs and a will to live, and ta-da! Now we have the Satanic leaf gecko. These guys are found exclusively in Madagascar. They don't get too big, staying around the size of a crested gecko, and love to live their whole lives up in trees, eating insects like spiders, moths, roaches, and whatever else can fit down their throats. Their design allows for incredible camouflage, making it difficult for predators to spot them, especially when the Satanic leaf gecko finds itself down, eliminating its own shadow against a leaf or branch. As pets, they tend to make better display animals and cuddle buddies, as most are not interested in being handled. They can drop their tails, which will immediately be indistinguishable from the leaf litter on the floor of their enclosure, so you'll want to be careful of that. They are probably not the best reptile for a brand new keeper, but they do tend to do well as pets with correct husbandry, of course. Though I would be careful as to what you say in the same room as this guy, because he seems judgmental and capable of plotting revenge, and with a name like that, I feel like he might have some friends to call that you'd rather not meet, and maybe even they would help with an escape attempt. Imagine waking up and this is sitting on your pillow next to you. It's terrifying. Satanic indeed. Do you agree with my picks for the weirdest and coolest looking animals that likely came right out of the pages of some wild story? Let me know what else you would have included in the comments below. A very special thank you to my patrons on Patreon. You guys are amazing and I appreciate all your support. And if one day I am able to get one or all of these creatures, it will be thanks to the kind support from you guys. If you would like to help support my channel as well, head on over to patreon.com/allcanadianreptilegirl and check out all the cool perks and extras you can get. Thank you all for watching. Please give that thumbs up button a little hit and hit subscribe as well. And until next time, remember to nurture all nature. Bye! He's choking me, but not on purpose, so it's alright. Stop moving.
Start talking.
Hi, friends. as I start talking, he does the biggest huff.
He thinks he's the star.
He is, though, let's be honest. He's a gorgeous boy. Who signed off on this decision? No! Fingers! Hi, baby. Oh, no. Oh, dear.
So,
This might have not been the greatest.
Who signed up?
Who signed off on this decision? Oh, no. Oh, hi. Plus, he doesn't hold on with his front half.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he's a strong boy.